Hey there everyone, it's Joe from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the best bullion bars and coins, shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. This is your weekly precious metals analysis where we take a look at the big four: gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. Head over to youtube.com/bullionnow, 11,500 subscribers. Oh, we are doing good on the subscriber base. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the family. You'll get a warm fuzzy feeling when you do. All the awesome videos that come out multiple times per week. All right, it's been a little bit since my last one. I think it's been a couple of weeks. Let's take a look at gold. This is on the weekly time frame. We're using the tradingview.com website. It's priced in US dollars. Again, for brevity's sake, I will only be doing US dollars today. We'll not be looking at Australian dollar denominations, but that is what it is for brevity's sake. But of course, as I say every week, it really depends on what the Australian dollar is doing against the US dollar. So that is a factor. So that's why we always base everything on the US price anyway. All right, gold off that high, 2000 and something, we have seen a downtrend. I had been talking about if we were moving down, where might be some levels of support, and we had these lines drawn in previous. They were drawn in previous. There were a couple of extra lines drawn in, but I did take them out. So that's the only thing I've done. I haven't added any lines to match up with any lows. I have only removed a couple that were sort of interim ones in case we're going to stop, at a certain point. But looks like this one right here at around about your 1670 mark roughly has been a level of support so far on the weekly time frame. Question is, are we moving higher from here? Are we going to be in a trading range and then eventually moving higher, or are we moving lower? I don't know. I'm not a soothsayer. I am not I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you. So all I can say is the levels where I think we may move up and down to if we move in either direction. So let's take a look at the monthly. And yeah, look. We have had on the monthly time frame, we have had a spike down to that 1670, as you can see right there. A quick move back up to over $1,700, $1,730. There's the potential that it could be the potential. There's the potential that could be the bottom, at least for now. You could certainly see, and it certainly happened before. We have a spike down and then a fast buy back up, everyone gobbling up all the juicy ounces that were available for the prices down here, and then we could see a reversal. Absolutely. I'm not going to say that's going to happen because, again, I don't want to give financial advice or that. But we have seen that as a level of support. The next major level of support, as I have been harping on about for a while, if we were not to break up from here, and if we were not in a consolidation pattern, if we are going to break down further, the next level of support is going to be your 1550 right here, the big one right there, big line in the sand, 1550. I would expect that to be a very large level of support. In fact, I would go as far as to say, and I might be putting my foot in it here, as far as to say that if we do have a bit more of a dip, that's the lowest it's going to go. I feel like that's the lowest it's going to go. And maybe, my feelings aren't evidence, but it feels right to me that 1550 is going to be the lowest. But just in case, if it's not, if we're looking on the monthly time frame, then you'd be looking at the real big one right here would be a 1380. But those are the next two moving down. 1550, and you can see it coincides with these levels of support roughly, and this level of resistance, 1550, and moving down from there, big one at about $1,380, $1,400. Definitely not saying we're going down there. You know what I'm saying? Just in case we do, those are the levels for me. Moving higher, we really need to get above. I've probably been saying this for the last few weeks as well, but in order for me to be confident, we have to move above 1850 without a doubt, and I would really want to see it move above the previous high of 1920. So for me, somewhere between 1850 and, to be safe, to say 1920 before we can say, definitely moving higher from here. I'll put my line in the sand and make it 1850. If we break and stay above 1850 and then we sort of go up to 1920, come back down and 1850 support, then definitely we are moving onwards and upwards in the gold price to our next targets. I won't talk about our next targets just yet because we're not out of the woods just yet in terms of lower prices. We just got to see it move above 1850 in my humble opinion. Of course, that's in US dollar terms, and nothing I say is financial advice. Silver. Gonna briefly go through this too, because the last one I want to talk about, the last metal I want to talk about has been doing very well. I got to talk about that one. But let's talk about silver on the monthly time frame. Right there. Okay, after the short squeeze, which happened here, the supposed silver short squeeze, which hasn't happened as of yet, but this was the hype. Again, this is on the monthly time frame. Okay, so in February, there was the potential silver squeeze with the whole Wall Street bets, GME, GameStop thing, and that translated over into silver for a little bit. Bit of a panic there, I guess, if you want to call it, for about a couple of days, maybe about a week or so, and when we spiked back up to $30 in US dollar terms. We have since come back down, but we have seen a level of support so far. Let's take a look on the weekly. Again, I had all these lines drawn in, haven't added any. I have removed a couple, just sort of interim ones. We have seen this level here at 24.40 as a nice level of support so far. Doesn't mean we won't break through. If we do break through, this next level of 23.70 is my next level right there. Maybe we could see a bounce off that. I need it to stay above 23.70 in order for me to say that we might continue upwards. We might be in a consolidation pattern, go sideways and then up. If it breaks much lower than 23, I'm going to say we're moving down to the next target. Where is my next target? Right here at your $21.20 mark, roughly $21.20. The thing is though, it's so close to these other two spikes down that I'm going to have to say if we break through 23, as I said, 23.70, I'm going to suggest we're going to start making a move all the way down to this level right here of $19.70. So, but let's keep this as a level of support for now. I don't think it would be much support again because we almost touched it a couple of times already. But I think more likely your $19.70 mark if we are moving down further. If we do see a move down to 23.70, it's a level of support, and then we just continue in a sideways pattern for a little bit and sort of snake our way up, then your next levels, as I've been talking about for quite a while, the next level is going to be the big one at $35. That would be a significant level, I think, a bit of resistance right there at 35, and of course your next two big ones at your 44 and your 50. That's a little bit down the track though. Once I see a very clear momentum moving higher, that's when we will talk about what the targets are, moving above the blue sky thinking into price discovery, into all, unknown territory, undiscovered country. We'll talk about that later on down the track. I've got to see it clear. Definitely got to see it clear. Let's see. Let's have a look here. What price do I need to see it clear before I'm confident we'd be moving higher? Let's say horizontal line. I would want to see it clear $27.20. So between 27 and 27.50, I would want to see it clear before I think we would be making a third run for the $30 mark, and probably third time would be the charm in my opinion. So moving above sort of 27.50, then I'd be confident, but we've got to see it rise above there. This is on the monthly time frame as well. So that is silver, giving you targets moving lower, targets moving higher. Platinum XPT. Let's have a look on the monthly. Currently hovering at $1,176. Aha! Let's see on the weekly. I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Yes, I did. Where we had the spike out of this very large trend line, as you can see here. Very large trend line. This is on a logarithmic timescale. Very large trend line going all the way back to March of 2008. look at that huge downtrend line right there. It was broken. We broke up to that 1330 level, and I did say a lot of the time you do see a revisit of the trend line. So you break out and then you come back to revisit it. We certainly did that in the last few weeks. Yep, and an incredibly clear touch of that. Look at that. That's perfect, pretty much at about $1,110 roughly, since we have spiked above 1230, 1235, but we've yet to break out definitely. So if we are going to break down from here, well, you're going to see this trend line, downtrend line, as a level of support. If we break down further, you're going to see 1050 to 1040. So around about the 1050 mark, I think would be a level of support, and breaking higher. I'm not going to spend too much time on platinum. Bit of a trading range, I guess, for me. It's, I mean, this from here to here is looking quite bullish, and we have had that test of the trend line after we broke through it, of the downtrend line. So odds are, I think, more than a 50% chance that we see higher prices in platinum from here. That's as much as I'll say. I'm not going to say 100%, but definitely over 50% chance that we break higher, because we broke through the big downtrend line, we had a retest of the downtrend line, and then more likely to scoot up from here. Might take a couple of weeks, but we may be seeing higher prices from here, more than 50% chance. Next levels right here, I'll get that on auto. Next levels, going to be a big one right here at 1525, 1,525 US dollars would be a level of resistance. Moving above from here, need that one right there. You're going to be looking at, yep, very clear one right there. You can see at 1,730, and we'll leave it at that for now, because we're going to be doing another price analysis, next week. So things aren't going to go hog wild in the next 7 days, obviously. But those are the next two levels moving higher, 1525 and 1730. And once we start looking like momentum is going definitely to the higher side, and then we'll do our blue sky thinking undiscovered country stuff using Fibonacci analysis later on down the track. Hopefully it's not too long away. All right, that is platinum. Let's get back to my favorite. Look at this guy. Look at him. Palladium. Palladium right there. I've been teasing you guys, or Palladium has been teasing us for a whole bunch of weeks. It's been really annoying because I haven't been able to give you much of an analysis. I've just been saying from about here, I've been saying, look, sorry guys, we're in a trading range. Can't tell you much more. Trading range. This is the weekly. Each candle is a week, right? So the weekly time frame, just trading in between, was it 2200 and about 2500. I said at some point it would have to break to the higher or to the lower, and we've seen it finally to the higher, which is good news. Good news, everyone. Finally broken to the upside, to spike at $2,760 per palladium ounce in US dollar terms. My goodness me. So that's looking positive for palladium. We might see in this next week, if we do see a bit of a down week, don't stress about that. That's just, after a couple of weeks of green candles, a red candle is not unlikely. Although we did have this touch recently back down, but if this is a red week, I should say, if that's a red week, don't stress. I think that would be a big level of support right here. See those 2 points right there, and right there. I can get rid of this one now, thank goodness. I'll get rid of that. That would be a level of support for me at $2,520 roughly. Could we see a bounce from there and then moving higher? We could. I'm potentially, and I'm going to do some blue sky thinking now, because I think we are looking at, I think more than a 50% chance we are looking at a break of an all-time high in platinum in, I would say, the next, let's be conservative, what's that, a weekly time frame. I'm going to be conservative and say in the next 2 months. Let's say that in the next 8 weeks, so the next 8 candles. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's likely. Within the next 2 months, we could see more than a 50% chance, in my non-financial advice opinion, that we see a break of the palladium all-time high in US dollar terms, of course. So let's do some blue sky thinking. Go back to the monthly. and take a look at where the next levels are. I have talked about them before. I've done this Fibonacci between this high and this old low. So the old high of 1100 and the old low of, I think it was, $150. I did talk about the next Fibonacci level, which is the 4.236 at $4,228. Call it 4,300. But on the way up to 4,300, you've got a potential psychological barrier at 4,000. Why? Just because it's an even number. We find even numbers to be a bit of a psychological barrier, but if that's not, I'm going to say somewhere between $4,000 and $4,300 is going to be the next big high target for Palladium if we break through and make an all-time high. And I think that's more likely than not at this stage. All right, that is. I'm not going to do the low targets for Palladium. I'll wait to see what the message of the market tells us. But up for now. Positive for it for now. All right, that is it for technical analysis. Head over to youtube.com/Bullion Now. Hit the big red subscribe button. I do these as much weekly as possible, once a week. As I try. Sometimes we get a little bit busy, but usually once a week. And I hope you like them. If you've got any feedback, if you think there's some great tools that I should be using, put a comment below, and I'll look into that for you. And you know, I'm only one guy, and I'm just a non-professional, so take it all with a grain of salt. And of course, head over to bullionnow.com.au for all your best bullion bars and coins, shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. All right, gang, join the family. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.